right, Chad Hasty Show, News Talk, 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. We head to the phones. GOP political strategist Matt Mackowiak joins us on the program. Matt, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Chad. I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us today. Let's start off talking about Senate Republicans because the Senate back in session after taking a little bit of break over July 4th. They've got the August recess coming up, and things aren't looking good when it comes to a repeal and replace bill in the U.S. Senate, right?
Yeah, it's dicey. The math here, is the problem. You have 52 U.S. Senate Republicans. You have to hold 50 of them to pass the repeal replace bill. And, based on what we're seeing, almost any approach they try, they can't keep 50. They lose 3 or more. If they kind of go with a partial repeal and more of a sort of liberal or moderate replacement, they lose conservatives. If they kind of go in the other direction, they lose moderates. And so they're trying to put together a way that can hold those votes. They ran a new bill up to CBO before they went off for the recess, and they included a separate score for the Consumer Freedom Amendment that Ted Cruz and Mike Lee are proposing, which says that any insurer that offers an Obamacare compliant plan, that would be a plan that offers guaranteed issue, which is pre-existing conditions and other things, sort of the so-called Title I promises. Any insurer that offers that can also offer a non-Obamacare compliant plan, basically whatever plan they want. And so consumers would have the choice what type of plan they want. And Cruz has been really making the rounds, both nationally and in Texas, making the case for this amendment on the belief that it will reduce premiums. And really the cost of premiums is probably the single biggest problem in our healthcare system. So it's dicey, Chad. I don't really know what's going to happen. You had the Senate Majority Leader a few days ago say if we can't get the votes to move a bill, we're going to be forced to work with Democrats to find a bipartisan fix to the insurance markets. And so I don't know what's going to happen. They have to get the CBO score back and see what it looks like. I have to see where they are in their conference. My guess is they'll do that at the weekly lunch on Tuesday. But, it's probably 50-50 or perhaps a little bit worse right now that they're going to do this. And I don't think the vote is going to happen this week.
What about the idea of, and the president tweeted this out, I think, or maybe he said it, I can't remember which one, but okay, yeah. Let's just repeal it and then we'll replace it later. Or just, and you've probably seen some of the same comments online that I have from Republican voters, which is, hey, you guys passed, when Obama was in office, you passed a repeal bill. Why don't you just pass that and end it? And then, I guess if you have to come up with something later on, come up with something. But why not just a full repeal right now and end this?
This is the most fascinating question to me politically about the Republicans. You basically have every senator, there may be one or two exceptions, but basically every Republican senator has already voted for a repeal. They voted for it in previous Congresses. If they were a House member and they got elected to the Senate, they already voted for it. There's one or two that haven't. So they've already taken that vote. They're already susceptible to any type of attack for, quote, repealing Obamacare. And honestly, the Senate Republican leadership was looking at that strategy very seriously early on. That was their intention. In fact, Senate Majority Whip John Cornyn of Texas said that he really thought if they repealed the bill, repealed Obamacare, then Democrats would be in a different position and would be able to perhaps work with Republicans on a replacement because the repeal will have already happened and their sort of battle to protect Obamacare would be over at that point. So I do think that's still a fallback possibility, but it seems like what McConnell is signaling is no, we're not going to repeal at all. If we don't pass our own bill, then I'm going to work with Democrats to try to cobble together 60 votes on some type of replacement that is a middle-of-the-road replacement. And obviously, that's going to be pretty unpopular with Republican voters who've been listening to Republican candidates promise to repeal Obamacare for 7 years.
Okay, so if Republicans don't repeal Obamacare, if they don't repeal and replace, and we get nothing done, and you've got the August recess, and let's just say we're at the end of the year, we're going into 2018, and there isn't a repeal and replace or just a repeal bill, what's going to happen in 2018 with these Republicans?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's a big question because obviously in midterm elections your base is even more important than it is in presidential elections because turnout is lower. And this is a promise, as I said before, Politics has been making for a very long time. I think a lot of voters look at this and say, you guys had 7 years. Why do you not have your act together? And the answer for that is that most Republicans did not expect Trump to win the election. And so they didn't spend a lot of time last fall. And during the transition, they had to start from scratch effectively and try to build a consensus. Now, I don't blame the Republicans entirely. The Democrat, the Obamacare plan was devised in such a way that it was very hard to undo it. Once you give away an entitlement to people, it's very hard to take it away or reform it in any real way. And we're seeing that now. But, boy, the Senate has got to find a way to do this. I think the only thing worse than passing, sort of a disappointing replacement is to not do anything. Then you still have people getting hurt. Democrats will be attacking Republicans for not doing anything about Obamacare. And the base will be very angry for not fulfilling a promise. And so I think the recess is up in the air right now. I don't think members want to cancel the recess, but you did have 10 senators send a letter to the majority leader asking for him to at least partially take back the recess in August. They've got to start getting more work done. The year is really flying by, and September and October are going to be consumed by the spending fight and the debt ceiling. Those are going to take several weeks each.
Yeah. All right, Matt, we'll wrap it up for today. Tell folks about your new podcast that you have out and how they can sign up for your newsletter.
Yeah, Chad, as you know, we have a daily email newsletter at mustreadtexas.com that we send out every weekday. I know you read it, and about 4,000 Texans read it. You can sign up at mustreadtexas.com. I also have a podcast, Mac on Politics, which you can find in the iTunes Store, on Google Play, on Stitcher, and on the web at maconpolitics.com. Our new episode with former U.S. Senator Jim DeMint posted this morning.
Very nice. Matt, as always, appreciate it. We'll visit with you next week.
Have a good week. Take care.